Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a beautiful guest all the way in Baltimore, and she is on day 110 of a juice cleanse. We're going to find out what's going on, why has she done so long, what are the benefits, what are the results, what is happening. This is going to be such a good one. And this is the beautiful Kelly Rochelle. How are you, Kelly?
I'm good, Jillian. How you doing?
I'm amazing. You look great. First thing I noticed is your skin. You're absolutely glowing. Your skin looks insane, amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're so sweet.
Aw, thanks. Well, day 110. So I can't wait to talk to you about this, but so what initially led you to do a juice fast? And did you intend to do this many days when you set out?
Yeah, good question. Well, what led me to do the juice fast actually was ultimately it's a little bit of a long story, but I was diagnosed with stage three breast cancer, actually.
Wow.
It was over a year ago. And yeah, it was really interesting. It started with like a little pebble. I felt it on my breast, and then I ignored it, ignored it, and it just grew and grew. And so I ultimately got it looked at and biopsied and all that. And they said it was stage three, actually a very aggressive form, and that it had spread to my lymph nodes as well. And so the recommended treatment was, what was it, 26 rounds of chemo as well as a year of radiation and surgery and all of that. And so I was, pretty much with disbelief. I really wasn't planning to do any of it, actually. I just really wanted to have it cut off. And I didn't believe in anything, because I spent my whole life being really healthy, as a matter of fact, unlike a lot of, of your guests, with a lot of problems. I've never had a bunch of, anything. I'm 62, no medications, living healthy, pretty healthy. Of course, I was still eating plenty of meat, but I also ate a lot of fruits and vegetables as well. So I figured I was pretty healthy. I really hadn't had a cold so much as the sniffles really for decades, actually. So I was fine. I was fine. I never went to the doctor. I didn't even have medical insurance. I really didn't trust doctors. I've had horrible experiences really with doctors. My motto kind of was the best way to stay healthy was to stay away from doctors. So I didn't go. And so to make a long story short, when I found the lump, I didn't want to go to a doctor. I didn't want to talk about it. In fact, I was actually feeling like the more I thought of it, it would get bigger. I felt like if I just ignored it or, I could manifest it away or something like that. Those are my thinking. I even did, I just did a lot of things. I just didn't want to believe it was true. But once I found out that it was true, then I told my family. I hadn't told anyone. And they, of course, wanted me to have the, chemotherapy, everything that the doctor suggested, so that I could live. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to. But ultimately, I ended up bowing down to it and I ended up getting chemo. And I had 3 rounds of it, actually, of the 26 that they wanted me to have. And I lost my hair. Well, not all of it. It didn't go 100% bald, but it was, I had like this big, huge, beautiful afro. And it was like, looked like a chicken plucked, plucked out of it. And, but the biggest thing is that the lump actually grew and it was supposed to shrink, the thought being the chemo would shrink the lump and then it would be less for surgery. But instead, it actually grew. And when that happened, and then the doctor told me that it really hadn't grown, it was the same. And I was like, what do you mean? It was obviously bigger. I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I did a lot of research. I looked into crispy cancer, actually. I read so many studies of different people who had survived. There's a book called Radical Remission that I read. And it was just amazing to me, really, that this wasn't on the front pages of every newspaper. Like, there are like thousands of people in there in medical journals. It's not just like, anecdotal conversations. There's actually medical proof of people who have actually cured themselves without using, traditional forms of medicine. And I'm like, how come nobody knows this? Why is this
Mhm.
not on every TV show? But you can find it if you look, but it's not like open. So anyway, I looked deeply and I just went into it. I studied, I researched, and I decided that if these people can do it, then I would be able to do it as well. They were human like I was, and I just needed to do what they did. So I did exactly that. I changed my entire life, my entire everything. And I ate, I was really, again, heavily influenced a lot by Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And he ate, I saw he's been on your channel. Probably, everybody's been on your channel. Foods that were cancer fighting or killing or prevention, just what was the point of eating it if it didn't do that? And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Why eat anything at this point if it's not going to serve you in some way,
Mm-hmm.
serve by either, adding nutrition or deleting the cancer. So in any event, that's what I did. And I also made some other lifestyle changes as well. I found out that cancer loves sugar. I quit sugar cold turkey immediately. Alcohol, I was smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped it all, eat like instantly overnight. Now, up until that point, I had been like kind of transitioning into, I was like a pescatarian at that point. I had stopped eating all meat
Mm-hmm.
prior to this diagnosis. And I did feel kind of like my body had betrayed me because I really was thinking, I'm like super healthy. What do you mean? How is this even possible? I'm not like eating Big Macs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How is this happening to me? That can't be possible. There was another reason why I didn't want to accept because it couldn't be true. But in any case, once I found out about all these ways of getting around it and, changing, again, changing my diet, changing my habits, and also changing another thing that I hadn't ever thought about, which was emotionally resentment, holding resentment. That's something Louise Hay talks about a lot, that can cause disease as well. And I did have a lot of resentment I was holding in. So in any case, I did all these things and I ended up having the operation. But the other thing I also did was I also included lemon ginger blasts into
Mm-hmm.
my diet heavily. I felt like if I was going to go to chemotherapy, I needed something to counteract, because the chemo was going to be washing me with poisons, and I needed to have something to wash me with nutrition. And so that's what the lemon ginger blast did. So interestingly enough, I didn't have any nausea. I didn't throw up at all. I didn't have any problems with the chemo other than my hair falling out. But I had no pain, no nausea, nothing. And when I had the operation, I, healed pretty much instantly. I had no real pain. I really do attribute all that to the lemon ginger blast. And when they removed the lump and removed 13 lymph nodes, they biopsied them all and they were all found to be cancer free. I've since had several other CAT scans and PET scans and all kind of scans, and it's all free. So the thinking is that I still should have all these treatments because it's likely to come back. It's again the form of cancer that it was. It was again very aggressive, and it comes back in so many percentage of the time. However, in my view, is that it comes back because people are doing the same thing they did in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to I don't know where I got this example, but it really hit home to me about a house with mold, right? You don't have mold, right? Most people don't have cancer, but some people do, right? But if they do, when they go to fix it, they clean it out. They, do whatever they do with the humidifiers, drying it out. They put light in it. I don't know everything that happens with mold, but I know that they do something to remediate the mold so that it won't come back. But if they leave it damp and dark and wet, then of course it's going to come back. So by
Mm-hmm.
the same token, in our bodies, most people have cancer when they just, follow the doctor's recommendation, just it's nothing I did to happen, to make it happen. It's nothing, all I can do is just, relinquish and, have the chemo. And then once it's over with, phew, let me go back and, grab that milkshake and give me that Big Mac and, keep on doing what I
Mm-hmm.
did before. So I think that's why it comes back because you keep doing the same thing. So what I've done is decided to make my body inhospitable to cancer so that it can't come back. How can it? Because it's all these, things are inside that fight cancer, the turmeric and ginger and parsley and cilantro, all the things. So it's impossible to come back. So since then, I have decided, I didn't even decide to do a juice fast, really. I just decided to do all that originally. But I had watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, of course, years ago, and, thought that that was really great. And of course, I thought 60 days was unbelievable, unbelievable. And no one could ever, I would never do that. I couldn't do that. But ultimately watching in my watching well, my research of everything, your channel, of course, was one of them. along with many others. But I think I must have watched everything you've ever done. And I started to, and I also became introduced to Shane
Mhm.
Sterling as well. And I was attracted to his, methodology and approach. And so I just, in looking and watching and looking and watching, I just felt like, led to, think, yeah, I'm going to do this juice fasting. But then I don't know, I just felt that I just needed to do longer. His recommendation is 40 days. And I, just felt like I'm different though. I have a problem. You know what I mean? I don't just have bad skin or, something else. Not that that's, just, but it's, I don't have that. I have this big, huge thing. So I think, Nathan Mulder was another person who was a big person for me. And his fasts were to the end, just
He
do
did
it
a
till
long one, yeah.
bottom line. Yeah. Until, so I felt like, you know what? And it just felt 120 days was the feeling to me that I should do that. And so that was my thinking. At this point, however, I'm thinking I might go a little longer, but that's the answer as to how I got here and why.
Wow. What a story. I didn't even realize. Thank you for sharing and opening up and how hard that must have been to go through all of that too and get the cancer diagnosis and everything, right?
It was amazingly shocking. Again, I just felt totally betrayed. I'm like, what do you mean? I can't possibly have this.
Yeah.
I can't possibly have this.
And what do you think, in your opinion, what do you think caused it? You mentioned maybe some resentment. Do you think that there were certain foods you were eating too that might have contributed? Is that what do you think the excessive meat or something?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. I drank pretty much every day,
Mm,
not excessively, but I would definitely have something. If not, I definitely smoked every day.
mm-hmm,
Um, I had stopped working out, so there was no exercising going on. I used to work out, pretty regularly. I had stopped doing that as well. And then also I was a big, not I wasn't eating meat at all, but I was a big seafood eater. I
mm-hmm,
mean, anything out of the sea. If it came out of the sea, it was going in
mm-hmm,
me. I just loved everything. And I ate everything, lobster,
mm-hmm,
shrimp, crab, um, fish of every kind and variety, mussels, clams, oysters. I mean, you can't name anything that was in the sea that I didn't eat.
yeah.
And so I feel like that, and again, with the lack of exercise, holding resentment over years, and then all together, it all came to a boil. But the interesting thing about our bodies, though, it's just our human bodies are just so resilient because, and that's why we don't think anything we're doing is wrong. Because if we just eat a bite of something and we drop dead, then we would
Mm-hmm,
know, oh, But because we can eat things and nothing really happens that we can see, we figure, oh, everything's cool, everything's good, and it isn't until year after year, decade. And then we call it old age. Oh, honey, I'm getting old. My joints are hurting, my legs. And it's probably not necessary. It's only because our bodies, after so, it's like, okay, I can't take it anymore. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
I'm tuckered out now. I think that's what old age is the
Yeah.
accumulation of everything we've ever done. And then it just affects people differently. It gives this person arthritis, it gives this person back pain, it gives that one something else. But in the end, I don't think we have to have any of it if if we just did, took care of our bodies properly, the same way we take care of cars, it would last a lot better. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do think that's why.
I completely agree. And so did you say you just did 3 sessions of chemo and then you stopped, or you did go through with all of them? Did you do just the three and then you stopped?
I did just the three.
Wow. So
Yes.
then did you transition to the juice fast around the same time? So is this pretty recent, or like when was that diagnosis?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was actually it was in, I guess, around January or
Yeah.
February, something like that of last year. Last
Wow.
year. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a year now. And so no, I didn't I just started this fast on January 1st. So but in between now and then I wasn't doing any well, I did juice. I had a lemon ginger blast every day faithfully, but I only had one versus with the fast, of course, I have much more than that. But I had a lemon ginger blast faithfully every day after I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
So
And were you all raw, or like how have you changed? How were you eating before then and the juice fast?
oh yeah, so before the juice fast and after the diagnosis, I was still eating. I was trying to transition into raw. But
Yeah.
but if I ate anything, it would be a crab cake or a shrimp salad sandwich. And then I would, go back to having, lots of fruits and, vegetables and everything in my lemon ginger blast. But I never could stop. And that was the other reason why I wanted to do a longer term fast too, is because I really felt addicted, to it. And that's a big thing that Nathan, talks about is breaking a food addiction. And that in order to break it, just like any other addiction, you can't just have a little bit of cocaine and
Mhm.
say, or a little bit of, some other drug. I'm only having just a little bit in moderation.
Yeah.
You have to cut it completely out. So I just felt like, you know what, I just need to cut food completely out. So those were all the reasons. It was the cancer to fight that and to give my body a chance to heal, flood it with nutrition, make it completely inhospitable to cancer, number one. Number two, to break, my addiction, to just stop eating, stop being so obsessed and just stop. And I wanted to lose weight as well. But and a lot of people like, push that to the side. Oh, well, that's not that important. But for me, it was important as well. It was
Yeah.
important. I wanted to. Now,
Yeah.
I wasn't like some big, huge, gigantic person. However, it was important. I didn't want to lose weight also. So those were my reasons.
Yeah. And how have you, I'm assuming you've lost weight. How has the weight been from the
Yeah.
beginning of the juice fast until now?
Yeah, so that was interesting too, because during the fast, I've gone through a lot of different emotions, and one of
Yeah.
them has been the weight, because I started at 138, and
Mhm.
today I'm 121, and I was irritated because because again, watching all the videos and learning, I guess I've
Mhm.
learned as well not to compare myself to others,
Mhm.
because in watching all the videos, everyone's lost all this weight. I was like, or people were talking about, oh my God, I'm so scared I'm going to lose too much weight. And, I was just like,
Yeah,
how come
that's a
that's
big
not
fear
happening for
people have
me?
with the juice fast. A lot of people are scared about
Exactly.
losing too much. Yeah.
And I was just like, where is all the too much weight loss at? So I had to really come to terms with that. Now, before the fat, so before I stopped eating meat, I probably weighed around 195 or something like that. I can't say exactly because there was a time when I stopped weighing myself. People say, oh, I put the scale away. I don't weigh myself. I
Hmm.
was one of those people because I didn't want to hear what the scale had to say. You know what I mean? I wanted to pretend it wasn't happening. But so I didn't know how much I weighed exactly, but I know at some point I weighed around there because I had weighed it myself at some point, and then I stopped weighing myself.
Hmm.
So, but I didn't start out there for the juice fast. I started for the juice fast. I had lost, all that weight based on, stopping the meat other than the seafood, but all the other, I ate a lot of beef and chicken and, everything, everything in the world. I ate it all. But I stopped everything except that, except the seafood. And then I lost
Hmm.
the weight. So when I started the juice fast, I started at 138.
Hmm.
So ultimately, I realized obviously, if you're starting at a lower weight, then you're not going to lose a lot of weight. Their
Hmm.
bodies aren't stupid. It's maybe if I was doing a water fast, it would have, but because I'm still getting nutrition and calories, etc., then it's not going to go down that much. So it has. It's like I say, I've gone to 121. Now I was 2 days ago I was 120, but now somehow I've gained weight. So I've been kind of going up and down every now and then it like stabilizes, then it goes down again, then it comes up and goes down. So that was a real irritation as well, because I felt like, wait a minute, I'm
Yeah.
not eating anything. How am I gaining weight? What is this about? You
I
know what
guess
I
that's
mean?
promising for people watching who don't want to lose too much because that's where a lot of people are at. And I bet if your weight was higher up before, you would have lost more,
Probably so.
Maybe this is right where you need to be right now?
Possible. Yeah, I
And you
think
look
I
good.
want to
You
go.
don't look like like from where I could see, you look great. You don't look like you need to lose weight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But it's a few things I want to do. I don't want to go much further. I'm not like, anorexic or anything, but I think maybe 10 more pounds, I'll be satisfied. So we'll
Yeah.
see how it
Yeah.
goes. But I'm gonna let my body do what it does because I can't control it really. I'm just because I work out. I do a really fun dance workout I love. But I do work out and but I can't make my body do, I'm just giving it what it needs and
Yeah.
it's gonna
You're
do
doing the
what it
best you can. And you're
does.
doing amazing. You're doing great. Way to go.
Thank
And
you.
good
I'm
for you.
feeling
Like
good.
after this diagnosis and everything, good for you. Like paying so much attention to health and like taking initiative, taking action to do all these things, right? And
Mhm.
110 days, like this is a long time. Has this been hard? Have you had a lot of moments where you wanted to stop, or has it been like unexpectedly easy? Like how has it been and how have you felt overall?
Yeah, I'd say it's actually been unexpectedly easy.
Mm,
And the reason has been a lot of mental. Yeah, I've been working a lot of my mental, and it's the reason why. That's the whole point. Is it's why am I doing it?
mm,
I'm doing it for a reason. A really good reason. I really believe that I am not going to let this come back. I have a son. He's 27. I love him dearly, and I know what it feels like not to have a mother. It's the worst feeling ever. As grown as I am, I lost my mother at 36. I was fully grown, and I'm still not over it. You know what I mean? I,
I'm
I miss her
sorry.
every day,
Hmm.
every day. And so, if there's a way that I can stay here longer, if there's something that I can do, now if I get hit by a bus, obviously, then there's nothing I can do about it. But if there's something that's in my power to do, and I don't do it because food tastes good, that's absurd. So I wanted to do this juice fast to fully heal and cleanse my body. And that's something that's in my control. So it's been, juicing is sometimes, has been time consuming, obviously, as you know. And but I have made it. So what? So what if it's time consuming? So what if I, have a craving or something like that? None of that is important. None of that really matters. What really matters is what I'm doing it for. So I've thought of, whatever, but there's no changing my mind. There's no going back. There's no, oh, I'm tired of this now, so I'm going to quit. What? Absolutely not. Because what am I doing? What am I quitting on? I'm quitting on what I just said. You know what I mean? So to me, I guess if the why is strong enough for each person, I mean, you don't have to have cancer, but it has to be important enough for you that it matters to you that the other inconveniences are, you just shrug it off because that's not as important. The taste of food is not as important as what I'm trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Wow. And have you had like for me when I do a juice fast, I feel so spiritual. Are you having more like spiritual aspect with the juice fast experience or no?
I have actually. I really have. In fact, I've changed my whole life around. As a matter of fact,
Wow.
yeah, I've had a whole complete pivot. One thing that we have in common, I was in real estate. Uh, was my whole life was real estate. I love everything about real estate. I've been a real estate agent. I was a real estate investor. I, real estate was my whole life. I loved everything about it. I could talk about it from morning till night. But in this fast, I discovered that I love something more. I love something more, and it is this whole health journey. It's just the idea that people have no idea that what they're eating is actually harming them at all. They're just like, oh yeah, I know I could eat a couple more fruits and vegetables, but and it's take an apple, take a banana, and call it a day. But they have no idea that the food that they're eating is actually, first of all, not even meant for us,
Hmm.
and it's just our bodies are just doing the best it can, but it breaks down and it causes so many diseases. That's where all the diseases come from. And nobody knows it. Everybody just thinks everything is normal. And it just means so much to me. I just want people to know. And whether you do anything about it or not is up to you. But I just have to let you know. I feel like if more people knew, then they would be different. When you know better, you do better. So as a result of that, yeah, I decided that I really felt like I've been told all my life that I should probably, I should be a coach. I should do these things, and I never really paid much of attention to it. I studied psychology in school, and I thought I was going to be a psychologist at one point, but I
Hmm.
decided against it because I felt like I wouldn't have patience. I felt like if I was talking to someone and explaining to them or, trying to give them advice and then they didn't take it, I would be annoyed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why are you here if I'm telling you what to do? And I felt like they wouldn't listen. And so I didn't take that path. I took a lot of different paths. I've done so many different things with my life. But in any case, during this fast, I have had a chance to be quiet, and I've had a chance to, be inside of my body, and my body not being so heavy and held down. It's just so light and free and energetic. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it has given me an opportunity to really be quiet and think. And so, to answer your question, I have decided, and I have actually begun. In fact, yesterday I just started a Facebook group,
Yay.
and I'm so excited. And in that, I'm going to be offering juice coaching, but I'm using it as a juice as a gateway drug. you
Yeah.
know, because once you come into my world, I want to then, just as a drug pusher does, they'll, try this. But now that you try that, how about this? How about
Yeah.
that? But only with more and more and better, foods but bring
Yeah.
people in slowly, and then open up to, the whole lifestyle changes. Because I just feel like, to live life, again, I not only want to live here for a long time, but I don't want to live and be decrepit. You know what I mean? I don't
No.
want to be dependent on somebody to come and visit me in the nursing home, come and change my diaper, help me to the bathroom. I don't want to live like that. and
No, me too.
and
Yeah.
we don't have to. I don't
Mm.
think we have to if we put the things that our body needs in it right now. So I want to spread that message to people and let them know. And I was really intimidated about it at first, too, I have to say, because I felt like, I can't, again, stacking up to all the people like really you've interviewed, actually, but just like it's so surprising to me that I'm here on your platform, because I see you as interviewing all these, famous people and, doctors and all this other stuff. And I guess I felt like on some level that, why would anyone really listen to me?
You're
It's
amazing. You're just as amazing. You are.
well, but that's just my story, right? That doesn't mean, just because it's happened for me, that doesn't mean I can help you, Gillian, or anyone
Hmm.
else. It just means that, that's I felt like if people would think of it like, oh, well, that's cute, that's nice, and I'm happy for you and everything. But what does that have to do with me? Where are all my testimonials and all my this and all that, my years and years of experience? So I did feel like, I don't know if I can do it or should do it. But again, in the quiet. And, I also then became, I guess, things came manifested into my life to show me and tell me that, no, yeah, you, you do have a voice. And no matter whether you've helped a lot of people or haven't helped a lot of people, I did in fact do this for myself. And I can say what worked for me. And if you, want to try it, but again, with all the research, it's not only just me, there are thousands of people that you just don't know about. And those will be my testimonials. Those will be the people that I can point to and say, I did exactly what they did, exactly what they did. And here's how it helped me. So surely it might help you with your inflammation or your knee pain or your skin problem or your diabetes or your high blood pressure or
Hmm.
your cancer.
Hmm. And good for you. That's amazing. And I'll link that down below for anybody who wants to go join and follow and everything. And I think that's amazing. And I know you talked about resentment too within the body and letting that go and how important that was. And do you have any advice for how you've been able? Because I think that's so important. You're right. Like that can lead to health problems and obstructions in our life, block manifesting, and just affect our life in so many negative ways. Do you have any advice for somebody watching who might be holding on to like anger towards somebody, not able to forgive them, holding on to resentment, how you've been able to do that through this process?
Yes. Well, first of all, to even be aware of it, that was the first thing. I didn't really think, that it was a problem, that it was an issue, first of all. I just that type of a person. I will hold a grudge until it breaks. I hold that's my personality. And I will, it's like just if I feel like if you treat me well, I'll treat you like gold. I'll love you to death. I'm the most loyal person. But if you do something to me, then I will, try to cut your throat. You know what I mean? That's how I am. So if something is done, I hold it. I have held it. So first of all, I guess I didn't think anything about it. That's just how I am. That's just how I am. And so I didn't think it would mean or do anything. So I guess first of all is having the awareness that it's actually a problem, number one. And then number two was, again, a saying that I heard from somewhere that, holding non-forgiveness or unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, that was like really, mind blowing to me. Because what it is that you're drinking the poison. The other person is probably, lollygagging along and not even, knowing
It's
what your
true.
issue is, or even caring for that matter. And you're the one holding it, and you're the one who's being hurt by it. So it's to know that it's only hurting yourself, and that forgiveness doesn't necessarily have to mean we're best friends. We're going to hang out together. It just means that you forgive, what was, and release and let them go to God. Everyone will have their own, journey, and sometimes people don't even know that they've hurt you, and you've taken it a certain way, and you're holding on to it. So it's to forgiveness for yourself. It's not for the other person. It's not to make them feel better. It's not to do anything. It's for your own for your own self. And it is so freeing and lightening. And again, to know that it can possibly be causing you hurt, harm, or danger is the reason to let it go. If you love yourself, then you have to love yourself enough to not harm yourself. And by not harming yourself, you can't hold in, resentments, things that are going to hurt yourself. So that's why letting the food go, letting other things go, nothing is as important, as living for me, living a healthy, vibrant, fulfilled, wonderful life.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing amazing. You're doing very good at that. Look at you. You're glowing.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel glowing. I really do. I feel glowing.
Yeah. And with the juice fast, what would you say maybe are a list of like the benefits you've experienced?
Oh wow. Okay, so I'd say one of the biggest benefits has been the mental clarity for me. Is to know how food, how much food doesn't matter, in a way that, or at least not the way that we look at it. Our whole society is just so food centric, and you can't even, hang out with your friends or do anything unless there's food involved. You have to eat all the time, eat, 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 eat.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole day and lives are filled up with eating, and what are we going to eat? What am I going to buy? What am I going to fix? What am I going to eat? And that was me 100%. And I just find that after 110 days, or even much less than that, that we really eat more than we really need to eat. We don't need to eat as much food as we think we need. We don't need to eat from morning till night, every minute of every day. You know, we don't need to. Our bodies need to rest. Uh, I found out that during the fast, that lets your body has an opportunity to go around, and it's like, in your house, if you're constantly working all the time, you can never clean up. But if you can sit down and relax and like, oh yeah, let me clean that window over there. Let me get this pile of clothes out of the floor. That's
Mm-hmm.
what your body does when it's not bogged down with digestion
True.
24/7. It has a chance to go through and say, oh, here's some little cancer about to grow. Let me eat that up and get rid of that. Because we know we all have cancer cells in our body. It's something I did not know. We all
Mm-hmm.
have, the makers of every single disease. We all don't get them all. It just depends on, what we're doing. Are you, smoking? Are you drinking? Or are you holding resentment? Are you not? Or maybe it'll hit you as high cholesterol, whereas it'll hit someone else as high blood pressure. But we all have different things going on in our body, just based on what our individual situation is, what disease or actually hits us. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought where I was going with. You
Yeah.
had asked me.
With the benefits. The benefits.
Oh, the benefits.
Yeah.
So the benefits have been mental clarity, primarily to realize that, food is not as important. To
Mm-hmm.
feel light and good in my body. I just can't explain how that feeling is exactly, but it just feels like I'm light, and I can be full on juice. That's a shocking thing. I can get actually full.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm hungry, I'm not starving. I'm not ravenous. I'm just, ready. And then when I put it in, it's content. I um I just feel so light and free. I feel energetic. And I guess those are my main benefits because again, like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't have any major issues to start with. I didn't have a whole lot of, I didn't have asthma, I didn't have a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, true. And have there been
so
any drawbacks like on 110 days where it's been like overall pretty good? Like any big negatives that stick out or no?
no,
Amazing. That's so good. And where
no
do you
negative.
think you'll go after this? Like, so you think you'll do 120 probably? And then how do you think you'll
Yeah.
break it? And then what's your plan like going forward?
Well, I'm still having bowel movements and
Wow.
I find that disturbing, to think that it's that much waste is still there. But I am 63, so I have had a lot of chances to, for a lot of stuff to. So one thing I haven't done is I haven't really done the whole husk and clay protocol. I did it for like a day and then I just didn't like it, and so I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like keep on doing it. But I am probably going to do it because I can't imagine. I really want to get that out. If it's there, I want it to come out, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe that it probably must be there. So I am probably going to do the husk and clay protocol, and however long that takes to make it come out. Also, as back to Nathan Mulder, he says to his recommendation is to continue to juice until you have no solid waste. He doesn't really talk about mucoid plaque or husk or clay, but he talks about going the distance, meaning
Mm-hmm.
fast until there's nothing more coming out. So, in both regards, I still have something more coming out. And I feel like, I'm in a routine now. I know what I'm doing. I know how much to buy. I know how long it's going to take. I know what it's going to taste like. It's just normal. I don't have to think about anything. I can let my mind, instead of all the bandwidth of thinking about food, I can do other things. So I kind of like it, Jillian. I like fasting.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, I'm not counting the days like, okay, I got 2 more days, 5 more days left. I'm not counting the days at all. In fact,
that's
like I said, I'm
good.
thinking of adding more to, just to make sure I'm really fully clean. As far as ending it is concerned, it's probably I'm guessing I could possibly go to June. That's when there'll be for summer. I definitely want to be eating fruits because
Mm-hmm.
it's summertime. It's all fruit, and I see myself transitioning into a fruit based raw vegan.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's where I'm more drawn. I'm not crazy about like salads and stuff like that. However, I am absolutely 100% passionately in love with lemon ginger blast. It
It is
is
so good.
my all-time favorite, and I add so much other stuff. I add, kale to it. I add spinach. I add romaine lettuce. I have like a whole habanero pepper. I do.
Whoa.
I
That's so strong with the whole
A
habanero.
whole
Even when I
bunch.
put a half, I usually put about a third because even the half is sometimes it's a bit too much. Look at
Much.
you. Whoa, that's
I have a
powerful.
whole one. I love it. I've had two before, Jillian.
That's so powerful. That drink is just so cleansing and healing, I feel like.
Love it. Now I see myself having that for the rest of my life. So I feel like those will be my vegetables. And I will be satisfied with that, with all the all the stuff that's in there, the parsley and the what is it?
Yeah, drinking
Cilantro and everything and
cilantro,
celery,
parsley,
all
mint,
of it.
apples, lemon, ginger. Forget what
Right. And
else.
then I have
Yeah.
this kale and the spinach and the romaine. So all of that is plenty enough as far as I'm concerned. And then I just want to eat fruit the rest of the
Hmm.
time. So that would be what I'll do.
I'm with you though. Like I don't usually juice fast in the summer. Like I wouldn't usually do it unless I had like a major health concern or something because you just want to be eating those farmers market foods.
I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm dying for and I've seen all these different exotic fruits I found in Asian market, and they've got jackfruit and they have durian and they have sour sop and all these things I've never tasted but only heard about and look really good. So I'm like dying to try like all of those, and then all the watermelon and mango. I mean, there's just so many good foods to eat. And that's another thing. People are just so, they just feel like, oh, what are you going to eat? There's a plethora of so many fruits I've never even tried.
Oh
And
yeah.
also, people don't even realize that fruit is so delicious because they don't know that they're eating it unripe. They're getting
Hmm.
like a plate from the grocery store where they have the honeydew melons are like cardboard or something like that. in their
Yeah.
taste list. And so then
Mhm.
they're like, oh, I don't really like honeydew melon. Of course you don't. You never had a ripe one, but they, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
True.
And so people don't know what fruit, really good food is because they never even had. They don't even know how food is supposed to taste, how it's ripe, how much different it tastes when it's ripe compared to not ripe. So then therefore, I don't really like fruit. Of course you don't, because you never had it
True.
properly ripe, you know. But if
That's a
you
good
do,
point.
there's no way you cannot like it. It's so delicious. It's better than any candy in the world. So
It is.
fruit, that's to answer your question.
I
that's what
agree. I love that. And
that's what I'm gonna be doing.
for anybody wondering your juicing protocol, I know people always want to know that. Like, are you making them fresh? Which I think that fresh is best to me, but are you making them fresh? What juice are you using? How much are you drinking a day? Are you still like active? You still feel good and everything, right?
Absolutely, yes. So I absolutely do make them fresh every day. Nama J2 all the
The
way.
best.
I had to have that. In fact, I begged my brother and my good best friend to help me to get it because it was out of my price range at the time. And I'm like, listen, if you want me to do this chemo, I can't do it without this juice, and I can't juice without this juicer. So
It's a good juicer. If you guys want to save 10%, I'll put my code down below so you guys can. But yeah, it's a great juicer, especially for a juice fast like that.
yes, I knew I wasn't, playing around. I wasn't doing it just for, here and there, which I mean, if you,
Yeah.
get whatever kind of juice you can, just to, better to have one than not to have one.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to need a heavy duty every day, something that I was going to be using. So
Yeah.
that's what I got, and that's what I use. I typically will juice in the evenings for the next day, but sometimes I'll do it in the morning. I like to I try to do 2 days, but I typically might only do one. The amount I drink is varies, interestingly enough. I heard how much you drink, and
A lot.
I can't drink that much. I never even can imagine it. But
Yeah, most
um
people can't.
I can't. But I don't have little kids I'm running behind either. My kid is
Yeah.
27. So but so I drink five is my ultimate favorite. Like that my body
Like
feels the
five
best.
32 ounce, right?
532
Yeah.
ounces, yes.
Yep.
My body feels the best on that. I'm pretty much a lemon ginger blast girl. I am not crazy about a lot of other like citrus juices. I don't really care that much about orange juice. I like pineapple. I love pineapple juice. If I like grapefruit juice, I'll do that here and there. But
Yeah.
what I've been primarily sticking to is I'll just have lemon ginger blast days,
Yeah.
zero, nothing else but that. Lately, all these there's a grocery store here called Aldi's, and that they
Yeah.
have a big sale on pineapple. And I got a bunch of pineapples, and I let them get ripe. And so now I've been doing pineapples. So I'll do a pineapple and apple or pineapple and orange.
Cool.
I had mostly pineapple today, almost all pineapple, and I thought I was gonna like pass out from the how exquisite it tasted. It was so delicious. But I will do five typically now. Lots of times I'll do four. Every here and there I'll do six. One day I did seven, but five is my magic number. I've been a couple of days I've had things happen where I only got two juices in or something like that, and I'm usually okay
Hmm.
as long as I bounce back the next day. But if I the next day I do something close to that, my body's like, no, 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 we
Yeah.
got to do better than this, and then I become tired. But that's my biggest, that was been my biggest symptom. I haven't, Jillian, I have had zero detox symptoms, which is
Wow.
crazy to me.
That's incredible.
It really is. I feel like that's insane. I had like a little bit of mucus in my throat one day, like something so like little tiny little niggly, teeny little things, but nothing like I've heard. I've had
Yeah.
zero. But I think I attribute that again, like I said, I didn't start from standing American and then juice fast the next
Hmm.
day. I had been
True.
transitioning from, the meat and everything for some years actually. I did these other things overnight, like the sugar and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But as far as meat is concerned, it's been years that
Yeah.
I transitioned for that. So, and then just before the fast, I tried to be as raw as possible, other than the shrimp salads. So I would be raw other than that, and I had plenty of lemon ginger blast. So when I started the fast, I started on New Year's Eve. Actually, typically I was at a big New Year's Eve party at my brother's. They had food galore, and I had all my little juices with me. And I'm like, I'm starting this, and that's when
Yeah.
I started.
Wow, amazing. Well, this has been so amazing. I've loved talking to you, hearing your whole story. I think it's incredible. Do you think that there's anything else we missed? Like anything, because you've been doing this for a while. And I know you're on Facebook. I know you're pretty active and you talk to a lot of people. Anything that comes to mind you think that people have asked that we haven't talked about, or anything that you want to share with the audience that you think we haven't brought up?
I did want to say just one little couple, few little things about the eating and things that
Hmm.
people don't know about or things that have been a revelation to me. One thing has been about milk and about dairy and how we feed our children milk. And because, milk does a body good and the industry has, bombarded us with all this advertising.
Hmm.
It's something I didn't know. I did not realize. I thought that cows were always just, they had milk in them all the time. I didn't know that how they get milk in them. Did you know that how they get
No,
milk in them?
yeah, I know. And
Yeah,
that they get, yeah,
yeah. So I had no
crazy.
idea that they are actually, so they are artificially inseminated or raped actually to produce a baby because it's their mammal, like any other mammal. They can't produce milk unless they have a baby, right? So they make them have a baby. Then right away at birth, they
Take away
take
the
the
baby.
calf away so that the calf doesn't drink the milk, so that the humans can take the milk and sell it. And that is just so
Insane.
surprising and shocking and insane to me. And that these animals, they are not human beings, but they are sentient beings. They have feelings. They cry. They have pain. You look at your dog, it wags its tail, it's happy. They have emotions. And when we do that kind of thing, and just to get the milk, to drink the milk of another animal. And once again, what animal in the whole animal kingdom drinks the milk of another animal? I
I
mean, if you just
know.
think about it, that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, why do we do that? Because we were trained and taught to do it. And we've been trained and taught to do so many things we just accept it. But if you actually were to like peel it back and look at it, you would see how insane it is. Like, why is it that we don't eat dogs, but it's okay to eat a cow? Just because someone said so. That's
Hmm.
all. That's the only reason why. But if one is disgusting, then they're all disgusting. We just need to look and open up and stop, looking at the customs, customs. We were taught, our mother taught us and her mother taught her, and they just did the best they could. But we're all being taught by the industry, right? The cattle industry and the milk and meat industry. They don't care about our health. All they care about is their bottom line. And we have to care about our health ourselves. We have to take care of our own selves. And so I say, open up, wake up, and there's a better way. We don't have to live like this. You can live a much better way, and it's not horrible to live this way. I would have thought again to think that if I hadn't eaten food, I would be dead. There's no way you can live on Earth without eating after 110 days, and there's no way of eating. One last thing, that the whole idea of, well, I don't care. I'm just going to eat my food anyway. It just tastes good. I mean, I was a 100% proponent of that. That we got to die of something anyway, so I'm just
Hmm.
gonna be happy and live my life. That's also absurd because you have to die of something, but you don't have to die of, kidney failure. You know what I mean? You don't have to die, and you don't have to have someone changing your diaper in the meantime. Hoping somebody's going to be able to take care of you in your old age because you're going to be decrepit. You don't have to live that way.
Hmm.
No food tastes as good as health feels.
And that's a fact. Well said. Well, thanks. That was amazing. Thanks for sharing all of that. I totally agree with all of that. And I think you're amazing. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me so much.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming and sharing. And everybody go follow Kelly. I'll put your Facebook, everything you give me all your links where everybody can find you. And I'll put those down in the
Well,
description box.
yes, my group is called Heal by Juicing, the Juice Powered Women. I'm sorry, Juice Powered Wellness for Women over 40.
I love that. Amazing. Okay, I'll link everything below. And I wish you well in your journey. I can't wait to hear what
Thank
happens, see
you.
what happens. I think you're doing absolutely amazing. So again, thank you for coming on. And
Thank
to
you
the
so
viewers,
much.
I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.